When you're in business as long as I've been, and I love music the way I do, you're aware of what's going on around you in a unique way. And in my life, I kept hearing this song that I thought was terrific. And people kept wanting to buy it from me. But it was like an underground business, you know, like a cult kind of a thing. And went on for years. It went year after year after year. And one day I said to myself, you know, I think the market must be sleeping on this artist. I think someone should try to do this again. And what happened was, this record was recorded in 1969 by an artist from England. And he was on Mercury Records, which was a major label. And he was with them for over a year and released tons of singles and a few albums, and they just didn't do much of anything. He just never developed an audience. I had this feeling for what he was doing, though. And I went through 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. I hit 73, and I said, it's time for me to do something for this guy. I'd like to see him become famous and have a hit. And I wasn't even thinking money. I was just thinking about this record and making the public aware and making them aware of him as an artist. And he had signed, when he got dumped by Mercury Records, no hits, RCA picked him up. And they moved all of his recordings to New York and put them in the vault, the things that he did for Mercury. And they had new producers, and they start working on new songs and new albums. And they released 15, 20 singles, and they released 5, 6 albums. Still never had a hit. And this is already 73. He left there in 69. So I called this guy that I knew was a Pittsburgher. His name was Tom Cossey. And I decided that he might be able to help me do what I want to do. So I asked him, I said, would you like to have a hit record? And he said, what do you know? You're from Pittsburgh. I said, well, where are you from, my friend? And he said, you know where I'm from. I said, come on, you owe me. I said, you're a Pittsburgher too. He says, well, how much is it going to cost me? And I said, it ain't going to cost you a dime. He said, how could we do that? I said, you should release this record, press 700 copies of it, send it out to FM radio. I guarantee you got a hit. You already got the record in your vault. You already own it. You don't have to spend one dime. Use the production exactly the way he did it back in 69. So he said, geez, that sounds pretty doable. I said, well, what's it going to cost you? 700 copies to find out if you can do it? Is it worth trying to launch this guy? You're getting ready to fire him anyhow. You can't kid me. After all them releases, you still haven't had a hit. So he says, all right, Paul, we'll do it for you. We'll see what happens. Never discussed money. Never discussed aid. They did it. They released the record. The record was called Space Oddity. And you know the rest of the story.